Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Back in Action 2025. This is a new film on Netflix, rated PG-13 with a runtime of an hour and 54 minutes, a Rotten Tomato score of 24% from the critics, 66% from the audience, and a Letterboxd average rating of 2.6. So yeah, this movie, uh, I'll talk about it in a second, but it's probably not the best. Although I found it a little bit entertaining here, so we'll talk about that. Years after giving up life as CIA spies to start a family, Emily and Matt are pulled back into the world of espionage with their covers when their covers are blown. This movie stars Jamie Foxx as Matt, Cameron Diaz coming back to movies as Emily, McKenna Roberts is Alice. She's their daughter. Rylan Jackson is Leo, their son. Kyle Chandler is Chuck. They're all CIA buddy. Glenn Close is Ginny, who is Emily's mom, Cameron Diaz's mom. Which having Glenn Close in this role, how did they pull that off? And then you have Andrew Scott as Baron, who is um, to say the least, the MI6 agent that has to be there for very specific purposes. We'll talk about that. So I want to highlight a review from a letterbox that I found that I usually pull stuff that is either interesting or funny or stuff that just kind of I agree with generally. This is by Joey Peacock with gives it 2 stars. I consider this a Disney movie. Bumbling adults, disrespectful kids, stage action scenes, ridiculous situations. I That hits all the check boxes, and I agree. If those are the aspects of a film that make it a Disney movie, like I definitely agree, this should be there. So maybe Cameron Diaz is a Disney princess. Anyways, the reason I watched this movie and I wanted to check it out was because Cameron Diaz is back. She was in the early 2000s. She was all over the place. She was, I mean, fantastic movie star, and I wanted to see why she would come back for a movie like this. Um, that being said, the movie itself, it's not very good as far as the story is very straightforward, a little bit inconsistent and kind of boring. It's just like, bad guys are after this thing, and now our spies are in a situation where they have kids, so they can't just be all their full-on spies. They have to look out for them. Um, but yeah, I think it tries to do a few twists and turns that are so telegraphed that maybe they don't really work very well. It's interesting to see how they got all those people here, like seeing Kyle Chandler and Andrew Scott specifically, and like I mentioned, Glenn Close. That being said, I think it's pretty entertaining to just like, I hate to say just have on the background, but that's kind of what was happening, right? It was the end of the day. I was working on some stuff, and I just had the movie on the background, and it pulled me in a few times. There's some interesting action sequences, um, some fighting scenes that look better than others. I think it's fun to see Cameron Diaz back in that role where she's kind of kicking ass, but also the juxtaposition of her being this badass CIA agent with like also just trying to be a normal mom to these kids. I think that's pretty interesting, and I wish they had leaned a little bit more into that aspect of like, I just want to be a regular person, not spy. Um, they incorporate the story of Cameron Diaz just being apart from her mom and not having a great relationship, and try to mirror that with her own daughter. So they really dig in there. But yeah, overall, it's just kind of a fun romp that maybe sometimes is not as fun. Definitely too long. This could have been 90 minutes, and I think it would have felt a lot tighter because they had a few extra sequences where it just felt very repetitive, where like, oh, we've lost the bad guys and now they're chasing us again. The fight breaks out and we get away, and it's fine to do that to show how capable your agents are. But then once you kind of do it a couple of times, then maybe it doesn't have the same effect. So I can understand why the ratings are so low on everything, but I think they're pretty fair. Like I said, it's still uh, an interesting movie that you can probably watch on Netflix. So that there's nothing against that. It's gonna be trending on Netflix number one probably for the next few days until their next big thing comes out. So if you don't have anything else to do this weekend or on a weekend or whenever you're watching this video, You could probably do worse than putting on Back in Action. As I mentioned, if you're a fan of Cameron Diaz, I think you'll enjoy this. I feel like Jamie Foxx was a little bit overshadowed in this one. Like he's very restrained compared to some of his other roles, which I found very interesting. I thought Jamie Foxx was just a little bit lost in the background, as opposed to like up front and center where he normally is in a lot of his roles. So that's about it. I don't have much to say about this film other than if you have a couple of hours, you could probably enjoy it, or if you want to just kind of goof around with some people, throw that on. So if you saw this movie, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.